Hello and welcome to the next video of my LEC winter 2023 previews. I'm probably not going to do a spring one, just make sure I'm on the board. I am. Um, Fnatic, they're the oldest team in the four major regions so far. 24 years old. This team is pretty old. We think of 100 Thieves as the retirement home. This team is the retirement home. So in 2022, Fnatic went 23-13, dropping out at Worlds in group stage. Their academy team went 24-12, so there is something to pay attention to when it comes to the depth chart with this team. The last two LEC teams, Astralis and Excel, do not have an easily obtainable academy team to look at, like to obtain and put on the board. So Fnatic having one is a nice change pace. Crusher is the coach. Yamato Cannon, I believe, has been let go despite being listed as the coach. Crusher is also listed as the head coach, and they're coming from the academy team. They have no experience at the highest level in coaching. A couple changes with this team. They allow the bot lane to leave. Upset is still under contract with Fnatic, but he is probably not, he's under contract, but he's looking at options and taking a split off. Rux has been brought in place of Hilly. Hillisung is now with Mad Lions. Wonder in top lane at 24 years old, put up a 2.5 KDA, 7.9 CS per minute, 58.5 KP. Normally, these numbers would strike me as below average, but when you take into account his champion pool and what his role was on the team last year, these are solid. 466 damage per minute, 21 damage share, 21-2 gold share, no solo kills in 19 games. He played 9 champions, and this is where the excuses can be made. Gragas, Ornn, and Gwen being his most played. When Gragas and Ornn are your most played champions, you're going to lose lane with grace to have relevance in the mid to late game and be a facilitator. That was Wonder's job. Weak side, Odo is probably his 1A, 1B situation when it comes to weak side top laners in the West, especially the LEC. But, so he's kind of on an island doing his thing. Behind him, you have Oscarin. Oscarinen is 19 years old, put up a 2.3 KDA, 7.8 CS per minute, 62.4 KP. 480 damage per minute, 24/7 damage share, so a significantly higher damage share, 4% higher. That becomes almost secondary carry-like. 21.8 gold share, 10 solo kills across 18 games, 9 champions played, Gnar, Ornn, and Sejuani. So once again, another weak side guy with the Ornn and the Sejuani in the 3 most played champions. 10 solo kills is notable though, so he is aggressive when he wants to be and getting after it. So that is a thing. I don't think he's going to put pressure on Wonder though. Definitely needs to take the next step this year and bring these numbers up at the lower level of play. Razork at 22 years old in the jungle, put up a 2.5 KDA, 5 CS per minute, 69.7 KP. I did not feel great about Razork last year. I know some people think he did really well, but I thought he was very one-dimensional. Like he was a facilitator, of course, which is what the meta was. He wasn't a dog meta, but he, just like when you really think about it, if everybody's in the same meta, if he is giving up, 3-4 camps every game on average, and he's not creating as much as other junglers, what is it? Like you can't. There's something here that isn't shown in the statistics. 69.7 KP, is about average. 312 damage per minute, 14.3 damage share, 17.9 gold share. 3 solo kills across 19 games. He only played 6 champions. That was another problem. His champion pool is pretty small. Trundle, Wukong, and Viego, his most played. Now, behind him, Fnatic has an interesting player in Rabble. I think Rabble statistically is strong. Age is not listed, but put up a 4.5 KDA and a 6.9 CS per minute. That is hefty. 63-1 KP, so more carry-oriented, very different than Razork. 493 damage per minute, 19.2 damage share, 20.8 gold share, no solo kills in 18 games played, 10 champions, Wukong, Lilia, and Volibear being his most played. Rabble looks like a player that's going to put pressure on Razork. So this team is in a position where, honestly, they're going to be middle of the road at best. I think that the bot lane is going to be the problem. But when they're trying to address issues, and depending on how they want to look at it, I can see a world where if Rabble can perform well early on this year, Rabble should be able to force Fnatic's hand, if he can keep this up, to maybe change the identity of the team and provide them a carry. Because really, when you look at it, Reckless isn't much of a carry anymore. And Humanoid showed that he could carry at Worlds and tried to 1v9, but I don't think that they could do that consistently anymore. I think if you brought in a guy like Rabble, based on looks like these stats, they are going to try and carry the game as well. Gives you a secondary carry threat. Speaking of Humanoid, in mid at 22 years old, put up a 3-1 KDA, 9-1 CS per minute, 60.1 KP. Lower KP than most mid laners, but the 9 CS per minute is indicative of a guy that sits in lane, gets ahead in his matchup. We saw him at Worlds do very, very well on the international stage. 664 damage per minute, 30 damage share, which is hefty. That is primary damage dealer numbers, hence why I identified him as the carry on this team. 23-4 gold share, 3 solo kills in 19 games, played 9 champions, Ari, Azir, and Corki. Humanoid is definitely solid. Some people have, some stupid nicknames for him, but I think Humanoid is definitely one of the better mid laners in the LEC. Nafkela is the backup at 20 years old. These stats are from the LFL second division. So he's been promoted from second division to the first division in, wherever Fnatic's playing. I think it might be in the Spanish ERL. A 5.9 KDA, 9.3 CS per minute, 67.8 KP. So he's definitely graduated, winning his lane more often than not in the second division in France. Dominating there. 663 damage per minute, 32 damage share, 23-1 gold share. So definitely a carry. 2 solo kills in 18 games, played 9 champions. Corki on Azir being the most played. After that, it's a smorgasbord of champions. So these numbers are good, but we have to keep in mind that it is not only you have the LEC and then the ERLs, but this is actually even below that. So he has to develop even at this middle tier to even put pressure on Humanoid, which that's not where this team needs pressure anyways. In bot lane, Reckless returns. Reckless is my favorite player. This is nothing. I don't think he's the best player ever. I really like his charisma, and I've been a fan of Reckless for years. 26 years old, put up a 4.8 KDA, 9.3 CS per minute, 64.4 KP, 624 damage per minute, 27 damage share, 24.2 gold share, 3 solo kills in 18 games. He played 7 champions, Ezreal, Misfortune, and Zeri. This obviously occurring in the LFL. So, definitely a weak side. This is the issue now. So, we have Wonder, weak side top laner. Reckless, weak side bot laner that plays more of a utility role at this point in his career. We saw limitations with his champion pool last year that really hurt K-Corp. I remember reading that he was just not playing some champions in the meta, and that was forcing them to ban them. I forget if it was Callista or Lucian or both. But the fact of the matter is that can't happen at the highest level of play. Reckless has been here before. He's been one of the best in the world at times earlier in his career. So, I mean, he can't do that. Behind him, you have Bean. At 21 years old, Bean put up a 3.6 KDA, 8.7 CS per minute, 67.9 KP. So not in a position to warrant a promotion or really to put any pressure on Reckless. 495 damage per minute, 24.4 damage share, 23.6 gold share, no solo kills, 18 games, 10 champions, Zeri and Callista being the vast majority of the games. So being a solid, he's average at the ERL level. at least statistically, not warranting a promotion. And then this is where things get really interesting. So at support, they've brought in Rux. Rux played for them at Worlds. We all saw it. He played well, filling in for Hilly during a COVID situation. But at 26 years old, I am hard-pressed to think that he can come into a major region at this age and perform at a very high level. A 2.7 KDA, 78.7 KP, 261 vision score a minute, 0.35 cleared wards a minute, 7 champions in 18 games in the ERL last year. Renata, Nautilus, and Rakan, his most played. He has played in CB LOL, so it's not like he hasn't played in a pro league. Like, you can argue which is stronger, ERLs or CB LOL, but it's not like he hasn't been on the stage before at the highest level of play in a given region. It's just 26 years old. It's definitely a puzzling situation. I know Hilly is an inter. That is undeniable. But I don't know if going with a guy that only has 2 games of experience at 26 years old is a better move. Advian was brought in to play for Fnatic TQ, which is their academy team. I think Advian is a solid support. I liked what I saw with him with Excel. Him being replaced, I didn't think he was the reason why it made the team was still meh. So I think I was vindicated in that. It didn't improve the team by getting rid of him. I think this is Fnatic getting a fail-safe in case Rux does not work out. They have somebody that is solid behind him. At 25 years old, Advian put up a 4.3 KDA, 70.2 KP, 275 vision score per minute, 0.29 cleared wards a minute, 11 champions in 18 games in the ERL he played in. Renata, Nami, and Amumu being his 3 most notable champions. So, hedging their bets in case Rux fails. This team being at the age it is and the lack of carry potential, it's middle tier. I know somebody said in the Excel video they think that Fnatic might be better than Excel. I really don't see it. When push comes to shove and you compare Excel and Fnatic, Fnatic lack the carry threats that Excel do. I think Fethio's better than Humanoid. Xerxes can carry if needed. We saw him on Astralis do it. Does that mean he's elite? No, but he has that aspect to his game that I don't think Razork offers. In bot lane, I would take Patrick and Targamas over Reckless and Rux. And then in top lane, it's a wash between 2 weak side top laners. I don't want to get into my tier list. I don't even remember where. I think I have them on the same tier. But I make the argument that I think Excel doesn't have question marks, where Fnatic has question marks. This bot lane is a massive question mark. It's undeniable. Now, if the team goes with Rabble in the jungle, at some point this year, I think this team has a lot more potential because you have a secondary carry threat. Right now, it's just Humanoid, so if you ban out Humanoid, who's carrying for this team? Like, does Reckless still have the ability to carry like that? I don't think so. So, it's definitely an interesting situation. Fnatic, obviously, being a big org, a lot of fans. Comment down below with your opinions. Like the video if you like it. Subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter. Join the Discord. Become a YouTube member. And thank you for watching.